Definitely a new lake for me. Want to come down here, check it out. Some boats have muddied it up a little bit, but it looks like it's got clean water, it's got grass, and a lot of what I call toolies, but flat reeds, whatever suits you. Probably telling me there's some good largemouth fish in here. We're gonna give it a shot. All right, this is a nice point right here. You can see, we got a little too close to it, but you can see there's a little bit of grass up there, small grass patches. You know, a nice clean hard bottom off the edge, no fuzzy stuff in between, and there's even a couple good rocks right up there. You can see some boulders and a nice little shallow weed edge. So good grass mixed with nice rock, that's what you're looking for. And then plenty of depth too. There's one right there, got one already. Little tiny guy. It didn't take long, it was only a couple casts. Yeah, there's one right there. 2 fish for 4 casts. Another little guy, the Neko Rig. General, producing. We're gonna get some big ones. We just gotta find the right spot. This is just the first spot we pulled up on, so they like it. I think I got another one. There he is. Gosh dang, man. I'll tell you what about this bait. We've rolled up on this lake. I've never been here. Even though it's windy, and you know, you think you need to pick up a fast moving bait and cover a bunch of water. If you're not getting bit on that stuff, what I like about this rig is it gives me confidence that, you know, I can still catch fish, still get bites, you know, build off of that once you start catching them. So I've literally made 5 casts, I think, and I've caught 3 fish, and, you know, not the size, obviously, that we're looking for, but you can catch the right fish on this rig. And once I find some of those bites, you know, if I was practicing for a tournament right now, probably try and find a few more spots like that, and then I would try and expand on some other patterns. But just because it's a slow finesse presentation doesn't mean that it, you know, it can't be something that you pick up right away, because you get so many bites on it, it really helps build your confidence up. One thing really cool now, obviously you guys have heard about it, one of the biggest game changers in the past several years in the fishing industry is Ultrex. So I just had a few bites off this point. It's windy. I don't feel like running the trolling motor anymore. I want to make a few more direct casts here and focus on fishing. And I just hit the spot lock on there. Good to go. There's one. Unbelievable how many bites I've got already. I mean, not unbelievable, but pretty sweet. If you want to smoke your buddy in the back and you're trying to, you know, keep up with him, if you're in the back of the boat fishing co-angler and your guy in the front's throwing a shaky head or anything else, if you play that game, $1 first, $1 most, and $1 biggest, you're gonna have a chance to win all 3 of those throwing this rig. So just gets bites like crazy. This spot that I found right here, you know, I've never been to this lake, so I was using mega imaging, kind of trying to find a little bit harder areas. You can throw this bait in the grass rig like this, but I generally like to find some rock or hard bottom. So found this point, saw a steep, nice little break on it with the mega imaging, had some grass, small grass patches mixed up in there with the rock, and definitely fish hanging around that stuff right now. And you know, the way that I like to fish it generally is casting it out, letting it hit the bottom. I mean, it's a really simple technique, just like you're fishing a shaky head. Letting it hit the bottom, watching your line. Okay, it's slack now, but I'm just gonna pick it up and just shake it just a hair. Well, the initial fall with this bait draws a lot of strikes. The way that it doesn't just fall straight down, it kind of spirals down. It gets their attention, they're interested in it, and they follow it down as well. And once it hits the bottom and stands up, with that nose standing up, and you go to shake it just a tad, they can't stand it. Oh, hold on, there he is. Gosh dang. That one ate it on the fall. I threw it out there, and that's why it's important to watch your line, because it just started taking off faster than it was sinking. There you go. And the O-ring, you can see how it slides up. It's gonna save the bait. You know, this is a Berkley Max Scent General, and it's windy today. You can see how good he ate it. A lot of times with this Max Scent, we're noticing you gotta get pliers out to get it out of the back of their mouth. But it's a windy day. You know, for the guys that are, if you're new to fishing and you know, still struggling to detect a bite, this stuff, the Max Scent, is really gonna help you do that better, put the fish in the boat, because not only is it attracting them to it with the smell, but once they grab it, the flavor of it tastes like real food to them, and they don't want to let it go. Yeah, I mean, you see that's the Fusion 19, little tiny hook. Don't need anything too big. That's the number 1 Fusion 19 Berkeley hook, and can't beat it. Great setup right here. Another note I want to make is that fishing this fire line, you know, a fused braided type line like this, what's really nice about it is how well I can feel the bait. You know, I'm making long casts too. It's gonna cast further. And then with no stretch, you know, I'm able to get a great hook set on these fish, even with the little tiny hook all the way out there. So I like 7 to 9 feet of a fluorocarbon leader, and the rest of it, the 8-pound fire line, but 6, 8, or 10-pound fused line like that is really critical to me. A lot of advantages here. All right, the key with the hook set when fishing this rig is you do not want to just, you know, go off and jack the hook on them. It's just your standard drop shot type reel set hook set. You just want to use the reel and load into them nicely, because remember, you're using a small hook, and so the smaller the hook, the more you need to load into fish rather than, you know, putting a big giant hook set on them. Really important just to be able to put those fish in the boat, get a good hook in them, and not pull it out of their mouths.